stable. This is the biggest fear of every new YouTuber, that they won't run ads and won't earn any money. In their case, if a video is very violent or very aggressive, YouTube can give them a yellow mark. That's when they see Rumi. But Spencer immediately pulls Hoban away from her because he thinks Rumi wants to attract their viewers to herself. Finally, they leave. But just then, Hoban gets distracted by a cool tracksuit. Hoban thinks that tracksuit might cost $200 or $300, and since he has received his payment, maybe he can buy it. But when he sees the real price, about $1,000, his eyes widen in disbelief. He remembers that this is the exact amount he needs to pay Spencer for 1 month. He wonders who would be crazy enough to spend so much money on just one suit, and that's when he sees Spencer already buying the suit. Hoban, astonished, says that's a whole month's salary. But Spencer says that such items are basic necessities and everyone should have one. He also advises Hoban to buy one. It is then that a crucial point dawns on Hoban. It doesn't matter how much a person earns, the truly rich are those who know how to spend large sums wisely. Now Hoban behaves like a responsible person and doesn't buy the suit. But then, a message from Bomi arrives. A few seconds later, Hoban has forgotten all his wisdom and has already bought that expensive suit just because Bomi was coming to meet him. Now, when he arrives wearing the suit, people all around stare at him. Everyone thinks, how can a boy of this age wear such an expensive suit? And many even think it's fake. Some people taunt him, saying he got famous by selling his own classmate Pico. People are talking behind his back about his money and fame. It is then that Hoban realizes being famous isn't as great as people think. Although the people there were making fun of Hoban, his viewers stood by him. They advised him not to take the comments to heart, and one guy even goes as far as to say that Hoban should go and beat up everyone who is speaking against him. Hoban thanks his viewers and says, "You guys are my true people." Just then, a girl excitedly asks for an autograph. But she isn't talking to Hoban, she's talking to another YouTuber, Jian. Jian is interviewing people on the streets. He tries to ask a question to a beautiful girl, but she says she's here to meet someone. Jian assumes she's here to meet her boyfriend. But then, the girl Bomi points toward Hoban. Then Bomi says, "We are same, because she is also wearing the same expensive suit." Now Hoban tells us that he was always jealous of the popular kids in school. He was always small, weak, and an average student. He feels that school is like the real world, where only the strong survive. The weak always have to bow down to the powerful. He understood this even more when Pico used to put him down. But Pico himself felt weak in front of Kim. Because of this, Hoban respected Kim more. But now his thinking has changed. Now he is with Bomi and feels no need to be popular or look strong. He doesn't care what people think. Just then, people are shocked when they see them together, and a small romantic moment happens when their hands accidentally touch. A full movie starts playing in Hoban's mind. He sees himself returning from the office, and he has brought a bouquet of flowers for Bomi. When Bomi asks why there are no flowers in the bouquet, Hoban smoothly says, "Because you are the real flower." After this, their children also arrive, but then his daughter interrupts him. This idiot is dreaming. Hoban realizes how foolish he is. He dreamed so much just from a simple hand touch. Stable. On the other hand, Bomi thinks that Hoban is probably a quiet boy. A couple nearby sees them and says that they look very cute in similar clothes. The guy then feels bad for Bomi. He says that girls usually don't like to be seen with boys who are smaller than them. He thinks Hoban and Bomi can't hear them, but Hoban hears everything. Now Hoban feels that Bomi is not just bored, but is also probably embarrassed to be seen with him. He gets shaken from the inside and takes off his jacket. Bomi excitedly asks Hoban some questions about himself, but Hoban replies very strangely and distantly, only using yes, no, or a few words. Slowly, Bomi's curiosity wanes and she asks a question but then gets tired and becomes silent. Finally, Bomi decides to leave and says, "You're very nice over text, but you don't say anything in person." She apologizes for insisting on meeting. Just then, Hoban tells her the truth. He says he thought Bomi might be bored with him and admits he has never been on a date with a girl. Then he starts answering all her questions one by one. He says he didn't answer before because he was embarrassed about his answers, and then also says, "I wasn't eating anything because your beauty had distracted my attention." Bomi starts to worry about Hoban because he's all sweaty, but Hoban smiles and tells her that he was sitting near the window so that the sun wouldn't fall on Bomi. Hearing this, she also becomes very happy, and from a distance, a strange man is watching them, thinking that Hoban handled the situation very cleverly. While walking outside, Hoban feels for a moment that he is Bomi's boyfriend. During this time, Bomi mentions that she got a call from an old friend. She says that this friend is from Hoban's school, and when she takes the name Kim, Hoban's heart skips a beat. The same Kim who has everything, whom he didn't even have the courage to talk to in school, is now Bomi's old friend? Again, Hoban's dramatic dreaming starts. This time, the same scene of returning from the office comes into his eyes, but this time, she is someone else's wife, and that someone else is Kim. Kim looks at him and says, "Who is this loser who is after my wife?" And their daughter again says, "Dad, are you dreaming?" Back in reality, a flustered Hoban lies. He says that he and Kim are very good friends. Bomi gets very excited hearing this, but Hoban is panicking inside because he lied just to not seem like a part of the loser group. But Hoban immediately regrets lying because Kim comes over nearby. Bomi asks Kim, laughing, "Are you and Hoban really good friends?" And poor Hoban is standing there sweating profusely, while Kim just glares at him with a stern look. Hoban realizes he has made a huge mistake and apologizes to Bomi in his mind for lying. Hoban lied because he just wanted to keep shining as special in Bomi's eyes. Seeing the silence, Bomi becomes suspicious that something is wrong. Hoban mentally prepares himself for the moment when his lie will be caught and maybe Bomi will never talk to him again. But the surprising thing is that Kim just says, yes, maybe they are friends, and they study in the same class. He remembers Hoban's name with a little difficulty and knows that Hoban makes YouTube videos. Kim notices that Hoban is also wearing the same suit, so Hoban says, "We're matching." This wasn't a very good way to get out of the situation, but Hoban still feels happy and starts to hate himself for being happy about such a small thing. Then, all three of them walk together, but Hoban feels like a complete third wheel between them. He makes an excuse that he has an ingrown toenail and it hurts a lot, so he has to leave. He limps away, thinking he wished he could have thought of a better excuse. Nearby, Spencer was watching everything and was also live broadcasting. He thinks that Hoban was doing the right thing and should have stayed with them, but Hoban thinks that he doesn't know what it feels like to be a third wheel between two very beautiful people. Hoban compares himself to an ugly, ingrown nail. He feels that he and the other two are from completely different worlds, and no one knows him better than himself. Stable Spencer understands that love is also like a fight, and you shouldn't give up just because a powerful opponent has appeared. Hoban says that if he doesn't fight, there will be no defeat, but Spencer calls him a coward. Then Spencer remembers what a basketball coach once said. He says with a lot of passion, "If you give up, the game ends right there." After this, he reveals that it was Bomi who had first asked him out for coffee, meaning she wanted to meet Hoban. Spencer becomes even more emotional. His voice even trembles, and he declares that Hoban is closer to victory than all his rivals. Hoban becomes very emotional and thanks Spencer for opening his eyes. Spencer reminds him that they are good friends and that he should tell Bomi what's in his heart. Hoban runs to meet Bomi, but we find out that Spencer is once again just trying to make a great video. He thinks he will title this video, "I confessed my love to my crush and she rejected me." In the live chat, people say no one would want a friend like Spencer. Just then, Spencer is shocked by something and stops. On the other hand, Hoban returns and Kim jokingly says he will remove his nail. Hoban says he's fine now, so Kim goes for his practice. His next match is next week. Now Hoban understands that Kim and Bomi were not on a date, and he had unnecessarily considered himself defeated. At that moment, Kim says something surprising. He tells Hoban that he's a good fighter. Kim had seen Hoban's video where he was fighting the thug and had understood that Hoban was deliberately taking punches in the beginning so that the pain would be less later. But what's even more interesting is that Kim believes Hoban deliberately didn't make the next move. Hoban is surprised. He himself doesn't know which move Kim is talking about. Kim leaves from there, but Hoban wonders if other people also know about the secret Chicken Man videos. Bomi realizes that Hoban has come back to say something.
But Hoban is very nervous. Finally, he asks her what kind of person she likes. Bomi replies, an honest person. Hearing this, Hoban decides that he will tell her what's in his heart truthfully. He imagines how he will tell Bomi that she is the girl of his dreams. But he can't say that right now. First, he exposes Spencer, who was still secretly live broadcasting this whole moment. Hoban is shocked when he sees that Spencer's face is badly swollen because Pico has returned for revenge. Bomi wonders what this guy Pico wants, but Hoban quickly tells her to leave from there. Pico stops him and says that when he had asked for Bomi's number, she had shown that she wasn't interested in boys, but now all this seems like an act. Pico keeps insulting Bomi, which makes Hoban have to remind himself to stay calm. The chicken man had taught him that the easiest opponents are those who are angry. Hoban completely controls his emotions and first plans to provoke Pico. He does this very easily, which makes Pico come to punch him in anger. Hoban is ready to use the technique of taking a punch without getting hurt. But Pico suddenly hits him with an uppercut. He changed his punch because he had already seen Hoban's previous video. The chicken man had said in his video that only fools use the same move repeatedly. Unfortunately, the technique of taking a punch without getting hurt can be easily defeated by an uppercut. Now Hoban is getting badly beaten. Bomi is worried for him, and Hoban thinks he wished he had watched all of Sam Dark's videos. He now couldn't understand what the next move Kim had mentioned. His mind has gone completely blank. In this moment, his life flashes before his eyes. How he was always beaten up. Then he got a chance to change his life. A secret channel taught him how to fight, and then he started earning money from that knowledge. But then he became complacent and stopped learning. Now he is paying a heavy price for it. He has become a loser again. As Pico prepares to finish him off, Hoban thinks that he used to believe that it's better to get beaten up than to fight. Wounds will heal and the pain will go away. But this time it's different, because this time, Bomi is watching him. Hoban knows that this wound is not going to heal quickly. He is ashamed that Bomi is seeing him in this condition. So he just says one thing to Pico, let Bomi go home. Pico starts beating Hoban again, and Hoban thinks that he has to do just one thing, no matter what, to ensure that Bomi gets home safely. He doesn't want Bomi to ever know what a weak and useless person he is. Hoban groans in pain. He can't believe he's doing all this in front of the girl he loves. But even this seems to be not enough for Pico. He tells Hoban to take off his pants so that he looks even more humiliated.
Stable. Then a shocking revelation is made. Pico has forced Spencer to stream all this live on his Pico YouTube channel. He asks how many people are watching, and Spencer apologizes to Hoban in shame. Pico says that if Hoban obeys him, he will forgive him, but then Hoban has to face the biggest humiliation of his life. The girl he loves is the first one to show courage. Bomi slaps Pico hard. Pico goes crazy with anger and tells Spencer to turn the camera away. He now wants to hit Bomi, but not on camera. Just then, everyone is shocked. Hoban pulls down his pants a bit. He knows he can't defeat Pico in a real fight, so this is his way of saving Bomi. Pico can't believe Hoban actually did it. He mocks him, saying that Hoban's subscribers will surely decrease now. Then he threatens him to send all the money he has and to shut down his YouTube channel forever. Just then, Hoban shows his tremendous courage. He reveals his real plan. He is about to take off his boxers as well. Pico gets scared because if this is live streamed, his YouTube channel can be banned forever. But Hoban has made up his mind. He says goodbye to Bomi and says that this is his final protest. Pico begs him not to do it, but he doesn't need to. Keem suddenly comes back and stops Hoban. Hoban is angry because Keem is depriving him of his last bit of dignity as well. Keem had seen the live stream and had come there immediately. Keem easily defeats all the boys and even Pico begs for his life. Hoban feels so ashamed of himself that he can't even lift his head. Bomi is worried about him, but Keem explains that Hoban should be left alone at this time. Hoban wonders when he became such a helpless person. He thinks maybe it was when his father left them. But he feels that when he joined school, he was very happy. Everything was ruined when he became friends with Pico. He never understood why Pico used to hit him, because the truth is that Pico never had a reason. This is where Hoban started hating school. He stopped looking people in the eye. His body also became weak, and his fear reached its peak. Now Hoban has become the same again. He cries loudly. Spencer apologizes. Now he is streaming again only for his most loyal viewers. This time he makes himself a makeup model and thinks he wished he could apologize to Hoban properly.
On the other hand, at McDonald's, Bomi is upset that Hoban is not answering any of her calls. On the other side, Hoban is in his house and tells us, "I just wanted to disappear." But Hoban is no longer just feeling sorry for himself. We see that Samdak's video is playing on Hoban's computer. Samdak says, "Miracles don't just happen for those who don't work hard." The fighting technique being taught in this video is called How to Fight and Win Against an Average Person. Then we see our hero Hoban doing push-ups, having decided to change himself now. Samdak says that the inspiration for people to change themselves doesn't just come from YouTube videos. Anger is necessary for this, anger at oneself. With that anger, a person finds the strength to change. Hoban also now puts his heart and soul into changing himself, as if nothing else matters in this world. Samdak says that it will take a full month to master the technique in this one video. On the other hand, at school, Pico has beaten up Spencer while live streaming. He shouts, "Will Hoban leave his friends among the wolves like this?" He calls Hoban to school. But Spencer pleads, "Hoban, don't come. Stay at home. It's safe there." Hoban is watching all this live. Spencer keeps stopping him, but the surprising thing is that Hoban is already present at the school. Spencer can't believe his eyes. The strange girl who always sees everything runs to find out what is happening. Hoban gives his phone to Spencer. Spencer is shocked to see that the live stream has already begun. Hoban says, "Turn the camera," and then declares, "Today's live stream will be titled, How to Fight and Defeat an Average Person." A day earlier is shown, where Spencer refuses to believe that he was Hoban's friend. He offers to become a producer and even says that he had tolerated Hoban only as a business partner. Spencer also calls Hoban a loser, but Pico hits him because he had already betrayed Pico by supporting Hoban. Now he is betraying Hoban too. That's why Pico asks, "Doesn't Spencer feel ashamed, living by belittling himself in front of everyone?" All the people look at him with hateful eyes. Spencer admits that he is the worst kind of person. To survive in life, he always has to flatter powerful people. He can neither fight nor get good grades, so this is his way of getting ahead. He doesn't have any true friends either. Just then Pico starts his stream, and Spencer reveals how Pico's channel is running again. Even after being exposed, people have accepted him again. Now Pico's new style, which is very straightforward and fearless, is making him even more popular, and now he's celebrating completing 900,000 subscribers. On the other hand, the subscribers of the viral hit channel are continuously decreasing because Hoban is missing and no new video is coming. Still, there are some loyal fans who are waiting for his return. But it is difficult to say how long people will wait for Hoban. Just then, an idea comes to Pico's mind. He plans to reach 1 million subscribers. He tells Spencer to convince Hoban to come to school the next morning. Hearing this, Spencer is filled with anger inside. He thinks how low Pico is to ask him to betray his own friend. But then Pico says that if his plan is successful, he will make Spencer his cameraman again. Spencer starts screaming at Pico, but Pico says he has left Hoban and come to him, so he can immediately leave Pico too. Pico promises to share 10% of profit from the channel and also says that he will make Spencer his video editor again and he will also be a friend. Spencer tells Pico to give him 10% first before he can trust him. Pico thinks Spencer is really clever now and gives him the entire amount by mobile. Now all Spencer has to do is to convince Hoban to come to school the next morning.
Stable, hearing this, Spencer agrees. He even says that Hoban was never his friend. Spencer thinks that he has no other choice. He has to survive no matter what. That's why he shouldn't miss this opportunity. Spencer quickly reaches the hospital and asks Hoban's mother for their house address. He has been to their house before, but he doesn't remember the correct house number. Hoban's mother is surprised to hear that Hoban is not going to school. Spencer just says that the matter is very important. In his mind, he again justifies himself. He will do whatever it takes to stay alive. As soon as the mother tells him, Spencer thinks that now he is saved. But the next day at school, he has been beaten up again. This time too, it is Pico who is beating him because Hoban didn't come to school. Pico is angry because Hoban ruined his whole plan, and now he won't even get $300 for that small project. Spencer tells him that he had gone to Hoban's house and called out to him, but Hoban didn't come out. Pico doesn't care. He beats Spencer up again. Then Pico gives Spencer one last chance. He says that this time, Hoban must be brought to school. And then he starts the live stream. But Pico is shocked when Spencer does something completely opposite. He tells Hoban not to come to school at all. Spencer tells him that Pico is only getting $300 to beat him up. Spencer says that this time Pico might even kill him. That's why he tells Hoban very seriously, stay at home.
Pico loses his temper hearing this and punches Spencer hard. Then it is shown why Spencer's heart changed. A day earlier, when he was talking to Hoban's mother, she had told him that Hoban had called Spencer his friend in front of her. Hoban had told his mother that he now likes school more because he has found a true friend. Spencer was shocked to hear this. He realized that no matter how much he lied or deceived, Hoban called him a friend, and this touched his heart. Now he cannot betray him. Then we come back to the present, where Hoban has returned to school.